Innocore and Unfolds, and dear guests, today is the last day our symposium. We hope you live with fond memories. And now we will start our program with a mini concert performed by ITU Dr. Erol Üçer, Center for Advanced Studies in Music.
Good morning, everyone. We are about to present you here a very unique sonic experience, as I like to call it, because it will combine a piano and these four computers that you see behind me. It's quite unusual to do this. We'll come to that in a minute. My colleague, Dr. Vasilakos, will explain the piece a little. First of all, let me give you a little bit of information about who we are. We are here from the Center for Advanced Studies in Music, which is a research center, but also we offer graduate programs in various fields, ranging from more academic disciplines such as musicology, ethnomusicology, to more music technology-based programs such as sound engineering and design and sonic arts, and more traditional programs like composition, performance. So it's a very varied program with a lot of, we have an international teaching staff and also a diverse student body. So for example, right behind me we have a computer, and these are all graduates, graduate students from our school. We have conservatory majors, we have computer engineers, and we even have a geological engineer. So this is a microcosmic representation of our student body, actually. So what we are going to play is a piece by a very well-known Turkish-American composer, Kamran İnce. He wrote a solo piano piece called Symphony in Blue. And it is based on a painting by also a very well-known Turkish painter, artist, Burhan Doğançay, who is known for his collage technique. So this piece also mirrors that. So it has a lot of collage-like elements, which provides a fruitful collaboration with this coding ensemble. So now I'll leave the word to my colleague, and you can explain maybe what you are doing.
Yes. So good morning. My name is Konstantinos Vasilakos. Thank you for joining us for this performance. As my colleague just said, we are a laptop ensemble. We founded Istanbul Coding Ensemble in Miami 4 years ago with a focus on live coding, and it's called just-in-time programming techniques. So what we do is, for this piece was designed to create ties, to build ties with an acoustic instrument, apparently, obviously with a piano of the day. So what we try to do, because this is two distinctive worlds in music and in sound world, you have the acoustic instrument and then you have the live coders, and these two worlds are need something to communicate. So how we communicate? We have some machine listening algorithms running in our computers, which we share this data through a network, a local network, so don't try to, it's not a Wi-Fi. So when the piano is playing, we're analyzing with the machine listening algorithm what is playing in terms of pitch, in terms of duration and amplitude. And then we take this data and we sonify it in real time, so we do something musically meaningful, hopefully. What we do is we writing algorithms of sound design in real time, so this creates the sonification of this data. And I would like to introduce Serkan Sevelgen for joining us this morning. Cansu Ulker, it's her debut performance. It's her first performance, and sadly we're not a boy band anymore. We have a girl in our ensemble, fortunately. And then we have a founding member, Onur Dagdeviren. I'm Konstantinos Vasilakos. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have your coffee already, and we're ready to start.
Dear Laura, by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. If we mix disciplines, people, and ideas, we design technology and combine resources to solve challenges with love and creativity. If people go beyond borders to learn and work in cooperation with others, celebrating diversity and inclusiveness. My mom is a scientist and says,
all these transformations have started, and I want to be part of it. That is why I will study to become an engineer in 2030. An EELISA engineer.
Herkese selam, ben Sema Nur Arpacı.
Ben de Asya Coşkun.
Okulumuzun yolda EELISA konsorsiyumu projesiyle Avrupa Parlamentosu'na gitmek üzere havalimanına geldik. Uçağımız 2 saat içerisinde kalkıyor ama biz çoktan bütün valizlerimizi, bütün belgelerimizi halledip bekliyoruz.
2 gün sürecek bu etkinlikte parlamentoda European Student Assembly ile beraber Avrupa Birliği'nin birkaç politikasını tartışacağız. Bize şans dileyin.
Dear Laura, by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. If we mix disciplines, people, and ideas, we design technology and combine resources to solve challenges with love and creativity. If people go beyond borders to learn and work in cooperation with others, celebrating diversity and inclusiveness. My mom is a scientist and says
All these transformations have started, and I want to be part of it. That is why I will study to become an engineer in 2030. An EELISA engineer.
Herkese selam, ben Sema Nur Arpacı.
Ben de Asya Coşkun.
Okulumuzun yolda EELISA konsorsiyumu projesiyle Avrupa Parlamentosu'na gitmek üzere havalimanına geldik. Uçağımız 2 saat içerisinde kalkıyor ama biz çoktan bütün valizlerimizi, bütün belgelerimizi halledip bekliyoruz.
2 gün sürecek bu etkinlikte parlamentoda European Student Assembly ile beraber Avrupa Birliği'nin birkaç politikasını tartışacağız. Bize şans dileyin.
Center for Advanced Studies in Music for their wonderful performance. Now I would like to invite the EELISA Executive Director, Sofia Delgar, to deliver their speech.
Good morning to everyone. I was hoping that today it could be more an informal conversation rather than a speech. For the ones that were not here yesterday, I'm Sofia Delgar, Executive Director of EELISA European University. A bit of presentation of myself. I'm Portuguese, I'm civil engineer, and I have a PhD in geomechanics that I was awarded in Paris in a double degree with Lisbon. So now, after living many years in France, working there as an innovator, researcher, I'm now in Madrid at Politécnica de Madrid as Executive Director, because Politécnica de Madrid is the coordinator institution for EELISA. So myself, I'm a product of Europe. I've been traveling. Erasmus has made me what I am also today, and has been a change maker in my personal path. So for me, the connection with EELISA is really strong, because EELISA is what we want to build, a different ground for opportunities, to go beyond on the offer that Erasmus, that was a change maker in Europe, has built. Go further, give a purpose to our mobility. So this is what I tried to bring yesterday in my first welcome speech. But what I wanted to bring to you as students is what kind of opportunities are we building? A first idea is that now I would like you to have the sense that you do not just belong to your own institution, to Paris Sciences et Lettres, to Pont-Chaussée, to FAU, ITU. You are part of EELISA. This makes the ground of opportunities automatically different. This makes giving also a purpose to the mobility that you want to build on your own path. So together with the teams, and I see here some representatives of the work structure of EELISA, we are building, of course we are learning in the process too, but we are building 4 major pillars to EELISA. The first one, as I mentioned yesterday, is EELISA Communities. EELISA Communities is really a central pillar to EELISA. Why? Because it's our first common space for collaboration, interaction, knowledge, and impact creation. I don't know if you know, in the website you can access to offers of more than 30 communities, international communities. So these communities, why they are so important? Because they build new opportunities for mobility in an interdisciplinary context. So this is really important. Why? Because this also is a pillar to building a more inclusive space for collaboration and mobility. The second pillar is how can we be a role model in thinking the future of the European engineer? What does that mean? How the models have to be changed, modified, increased, enhanced, in reach to take into consideration the world and the planet challenge that we live and that we will live in the future. This is also really important because, as we talked yesterday, we need future-proof skills. We need to train our students. We need ourselves to be in that context of learning continuously to be able to face the challenges and grow and boost Europe's in the world. The second 2 other pillars are our common innovation and research strategy. Also a focus of this symposium, RBL, is how we make and we create more links between innovation, research, education, and society. Always the same purpose, but how do we combine our strengths, our forces to together do something differently? This is also really important because from the student's perspective, it will offer new paths also of collaboration and mobility always, through internships, through visits to the first labs, through common offers of PhD opportunities, for example. And the 4th pillar is innovation and entrepreneurship. How do we offer to EELISA students also opportunities to acquire other competences and other opportunities to learn? So in this path of the 4th pillars of EELISA, you already have opportunities of moving, of interacting, and we have here representatives of the Student Council that could be your referee as the students to get to know better ELISA, also to ask their questions, and of course the ELISA office is here too. So build your own experiences. Of course, we do not have all the answers right now because we are in the process of building many things and learning while building. But nonetheless, you already have opportunities. So I would like also to hear some of your questions or expectations, of course. But my request to you is spread the word, spread your experience, talk about ELISA, what it brings to you, to other students, seek for many of the proposals of activities that are already announced in social media, in the website. Take use of that opportunity. Because I think it's a wonderful opportunity to grow, to learn, and to connect with others. And thank you so much for coming, for attending, and I'm really open to your questions and even comments or expectations about ELISA. So the floor is yours. No one has a question? Okay, you know where to find me today. Thank you so much.
Morning, everyone. This is Yaşar Berkçetınar from Istanbul Technical University. And today is the last day of our event. And there will be experience sharing by ELISA students. And I will leave the stage for Judith Wall and Bende Guspap from FAU.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Can we go to the first slide, please? Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I am Bende Guspap from the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, and I have here with me Judith Wall from FAU. We are going to present a short bit about the Student Council of ELISA and the local student group at FAU. There are many things that you have already heard about ELISA, and we are here to present a way to include yourself and get in connection with ELISA through your colleagues, your student representatives in your own universities. Next slide, please. I think we can go to the next one as well. So ELISA, as well as ELISA, the Student Council is also represented from all 9 universities. All universities have in the Student Council 2 representatives each. They are your student peers. They are student representatives at your own schools, own faculties, and well, as you can see, some of us are even in sitting in the first rows. Because of this, there is 18 of us representing the students, working in the work packages of ELISA and making connections between the ELISA office, our own universities, and our own students. I think we can go to the next slide. And as you will see, we have quite a few bits to do, but most importantly, we connect and we represent. The Student Council was founded this year. Student representatives have always been part of ELISA, but the Student Council, as it is, was formed this year. We now have a charter that we work with, and now you can find us in ELISA. You can find your own student representatives at your own universities, and I would very much advise you to contact them if you have any questions about ELISA communities, ELISA mobility, and recognition. We are very well, I think, and certainly also we are very well prepared to answer, and we are always here to help. I think we can go to the next slide, and I will finish there and pass the floor to Judith. We have met already quite a few times in person. This is the third time, but as the council, we have monthly meetings where we discuss about our work packages, where the work packages that we work with, where we represent the students, where we represent your own ideas, and we put all those efforts in there. That was it about the council. As I said, please, if you have any questions, even after this or any time in the future, you have us, you have the whole student council, and obviously you have your own 2 student representatives from your universities, from your schools, from your faculties, and contact them. I'm sure they will help. And thank you very much. And Judith, please.
Thank you, Brendagus, for presenting the Student Council. I'm very happy I'm part of the Student Council as a student representative for FAU, as well as the FAU local student group for ELISA, which I will present you now. Can we go to the next slide, please? So here you can see our ELISA local student group at FAU. It was founded in October 2021, and we had our first public event in May this year. It was the celebration of the Europe Day. Next slide, please. So here you can see some impressions. We rented a local creative and innovation workshop space, and we upcycled old FAU merchandise since FAU had a rebranding last year, and there was a lot of old merchandise left over that would have been thrown away, so we upcycled that, and a lot of people passed because it was in the city center, and we could attract other students to join us and could tell them more about ELISA and what we do. And so we hope we will have new members who will join our local ELISA group. And yeah, next slide, please. But we also face some challenges since we are the first ELISA student group. And so we asked ourselves some questions like, what is the purpose of our student group? Are we there to solely promote ELISA to the students, or do events, or is there anything else we should do? What exactly are ELISA specific activities? What differentiates us from other student groups? We're still figuring out the whole organization of the group and the coordination. Like currently we have 2 team leaders, and the 2 student representatives, Paulus and me, are also on board. And also we have asked ourselves, should we cooperate with other FAU student groups, or should we differentiate ourselves first and establish our own name first? So those are all things we're still figuring out, and maybe you would like to discuss that with me later on. Yeah, next slide, please. So thank you for your attention, and I hope we can have more local ELISA student groups at all other universities too.
Thanks for your presentation and for your efforts, Judith and Bendeguz. So the next presentation will be from Bianca Travesi from UPM.
Good morning. Yeah, it works. So I am Blanca Travesi. I'm not a student from UPM, actually. I was a student a couple of months ago, and as many other students, I had a pain. Like, in Spain, there is this thing that we have to do, that are the master thesis and the degree thesis. I don't know if any other students need to do that in their universities. Please raise your hand if you have to do thesis at the end of your master's or your degree. Okay. So as a student, I saw that I spent like many hours developing a great thesis and a great studio that a couple of months later wouldn't have any application. So I joined U4Impact, which is a platform that connects students with organizations to develop their degree and master thesis in real challenges, in real things that are happening around us and that needs a solution. So, okay. Well, I don't know in other countries. I know that in Italy it happens too, in Romania it happens too, but in Spain we have a very big problem when it comes to students and employability. So Spain is the leader in European rates of unemployment for students, and also companies are complaining that the students they find doesn't have enough capabilities to join junior positions. So we are addressing a problem that is affecting directly to the youth and also affecting to the businesses and companies. But, okay, wait. Okay, so we saw opportunity. In one hand, we had like students with many hours to work on specific projects related to their studies, and in the other hand, we had companies, organizations, foundations, NGOs facing real challenges and with a lack of access for young talent. So we started asking questions. What could happen if all these hours that are dedicated to degree and master thesis would have a real application? What would happen if they would be useful for international cooperation or for the achievement of a 2030 agenda or for NGOs that are very bad founded and doesn't have enough resources and doesn't have enough technical capabilities. So we started building this ecosystem in which universities, students, and companies and organizations work together to tackle the real challenges society is facing. So our mission, well, we are all engineers and we like calculating a lot. So we started calculating how many hours are dedicated in Spain in total to the development of degree and master thesis. And I mean, the calculus was a little bit disappointing, but also very inspiring because we have 100 million hours every year that are sometimes being wasted on unuseful works where, like, it's very sad, but students do put all the effort they have and all the motivation they have in works that many, many times are only like a burden for university, and some students are not able to learn as much as they could. So, well, as I said before, we want to channel all that hours to work with companies, organizations, to address sustainable development goals. So, in this way, we encourage universities to do transfer of knowledge, like many universities are being asked to do innovation, to do patents, instead of just research and papers. So by developing this thesis and by encouraging the students to do this thesis, they can do more transfer of knowledge and with a social impact, because we believe that the future has to necessarily be social fair, environmental safe, and with an economic impact, of course. So what are our keys? Well, we do have a technical platform to make all these connections scalable, because we want hundreds and thousands of students to work together with organizations. So obviously we cannot do it manually, so we base our company and our startup in a technological platform. But also I think that which is more important is that we work with all types of profiles. Here in this symposium, most of the students and most of the teachers are engineering teachers and engineering students. But we have opportunities for marketing students as well, for economical students as well, for art students. So we work that by working in interdisciplinary projects, the students can learn more and develop other abilities. And also, as I said before, we are focused on Agenda 2030, which is the international framework to understand sustainable development. And well, we channel all the potential that we found in the thesis in a competitive way, which means that students are being selected from the organizations to develop their thesis. So these are some of the challenges universities and students are facing. We know that students have to do a transfer of knowledge, but they have very few resources to do that. So we are a tool to start analyzing all the hours of work. Also, we know that students have that universities have a real commitment with sustainable development goals. But when it comes to involve the students and when it comes to build communities of students, as EELISA, for example, is proposing, there is a real challenge when it comes to make the students join the activities, make the students work motivated, make the students spend many hours in a project with no return. And well, in Spain we have, of course, the unemployment problem, but I think that it is a problem that students all around Europe are facing. So, and of course, many of the works in the future are going to be related with sustainable development goals. So students need to have competences related to Agenda 2030. So by working in this kind of thesis, they will develop them. Well, we call ourselves an ecosystem, even though we are a technological platform. And here are some of the companies we work with. And we are trying to make it multidisciplinary. We are working either with the energy sector in Spain, that it is growing very fast, but also with health sector, and of course with social innovation, international cooperation, etc. Because challenges are everywhere in every sector, and more when it comes related to sustainable development goals. So what have we accomplished like in these 3 years that we've been working together? Well, we like using the indicator of the hours that we have channeled. So up to the moment, we have channeled more than 60,000 hours through social and environmental impact thesis by working with more than 130 companies. But for us, it's more like encouraging and more inspiring is that we have over 2,000 students that are interested in this. So I don't believe that students are not motivated to participate in social change. And more than 170 students that have already done their thesis working with these companies. Well, and in Spain, of course, also. It's actually my job. We have more than 25 collaborating universities only in Spain, universities that are saying to us, yes, I want my students to work with you. Yes, I want my students to get involved. So we believe that by the cooperation of all these agents that in principle they seem very different, we can really make a change. So up to the moment, everything has been like really abstract, but now I'm gonna tell you like exactly what do we do so you can understand it very well. First of all, we collect the topics. We ask the companies, the NGOs, the startups, what happens to you? What are the problems you're facing? What can a student of a fourth year or senior year of the degree or master's can help you? So they tell us topics, and very different topics. And then we filter them, because we know that a thesis is basically an academical work, so it has to meet academical standards. So we filter them and publish in our platform. Then all the universities we collaborate with spread the word to the students. Just so you know that there is this platform that does this thesis. And then the students can apply to the proposals and be selected from the organization. Once the organization has selected the student and the student confirms that they have an academical tutor, the work can start. And I think that that's exactly the point where the magic begins. Okay, and as everything was like being very abstract, I'm gonna tell you like specific projects that we have worked about. Well, I focus this slide in STEM profiles because most of the people here are like engineering, in engineering, maths, or science branch. But I also put the example of Clara, which made a communication campaign for a neighborhood that they wanted to involve the neighbors in the health in the neighbor, in the social impact in the neighbor. So she made a communication campaign. But also we had students working with automatic speech recognition for a virtual assistant using deep learning, which is perfectly a thesis. And it has been used by SUMA, which is the Spanish, like the Madrid's system for emergencies. And also we have Carlos, which has been designing as his degree thesis the decarbonization plan for Equalf. I don't know if you know Equalf, but it is a brand in Spain that is very famous because they make clothes out of waste. So he has been making like all the decarbonization process of this company. But also, like for us, I have talked to you about the numbers. We have over 170 students that can be like a lot, but behind all these numbers, we have real stories. And well, we have them posted on social media, LinkedIn, and all on our web and that things. But I wanted to talk to you about Adrian. Adrian was a student at UPM, actually, and he was making informatic systems bachelor, and he wanted to make his thesis with a social impact. So we connected Adrian to Asociación Española de ELA, which is lateral sclerosis. So he made his thesis developing a platform for patients and families to have more information about the disease, to have useful resources about the disease. But what it is more interesting about this project is that he didn't only make the informatical platform, which is like a very technical process. All the people here that studies IT and related branch can assume. He worked in conjunction with a social studies student that were interviewing all the patients and families to know which information should be in the platform, which information was useful for patients and families. And also he works in collaboration with students from design that made the platform really usable for these kind of patients. So as a result of the teamwork of these 3 students, they could make a platform that was useful for people that has ELA and for their families. And also, the outcome Adrián has experienced, or Carlos has experienced, or Clara has experienced, is not only the internal satisfaction of doing something useful with your life and with your thesis, is that they have developed competences, skills that are real demanded in the professional world. I mean, if you start during your degree working with a company, you're gonna know how to, okay, 1 minute. You're gonna know how to do more teamwork, how to communicate better with the staff, and how to do like all the design of a process. So, well, this is the team, but it's not really interesting. And this is all I wanted to talk about. So if something you wanna talk, something you wanna collaborate, here you have my email. Thank you very much.
So thank you for your presentation, Bianca, and thanks for the project as well. So the next presentation will be from Eylül Berke Özgen from ITU.
Hello, I'm Eylül Berke Özgen from ITU. I'm a graduate student at economics, and in the slides I'll share my profile actually, but the topic is I was one of the ELISA students that have attended FAU, the course named Innovation and Leadership, and right now here I will be sharing my experience as an ELISA student and also as a half-term FAU student, and also the inside the course what we did, what I have learned, and what you can understand, what you can refer about my experiences, what I recommend, and the other things. Let's start. Here it's me. I'm graduated electrical engineer. Right now I am doing economics master at ITU. So I am also ex-startup member from ITU Technokent. I have a deep connection with ITU. Then right now I'm also employed as an electrical engineer at Boğaziçi University. So, but if someone asks me to introduce myself, I would say I'm all-time student and I want to keep myself as in this status. So let's go in our topic. My adventure as an ELISA student has this list as I wrote the steps at 8 steps here. First I discovered the opportunity, then an application phase has settled. After that I got acceptance and found myself in a hybrid course, engaged course, projects, and presentations. Then after all, after the project and courses finished, I looked back and said there's a huge experience set that I gained. Let's start. The discovering the opportunity phase has begun with an email. Before that, I don't have any idea about ELISA, what is ELISA, so what is the courses. So the email coming from the ITU ELISA Commission enabled me to understand what is ELISA and what's the course actually. Then the application phase, it is really easy and open for application every students. Then I applied, but these two sentences that catch my attention. So eager to take responsibility in real life projects. I think it's really eye-catching problem, eye-catching activity. Then I want to dive in. So, and another thing, experience working in a multicultural team. So it is another thing that you can find everywhere. So I'm living in Turkey, and the lots of people around me is Turkish. So we have we have in the same society and probably the parallel visions for the life, but having in a multicultural visions really beneficial thing for me actually. Then I got acceptance, and one more benefit of the course actually the 5 European credit, and I can submit this course also in my studies in economics master degree, but right now I didn't do that. So another benefit of the course actually the 5 European credit system. And then I found myself in a well-designed hybrid course, which is both in Zoom and in-person courses. I wasn't in Germany, Nuremberg, but like I was in class. You know, there are people joining the class in face-to-face, but I'm joining the class in a Zoom, so I don't feel any. I don't felt any emptiness in the class. You know, I think I share my thoughts about the class. So it's really connective. It's really connective class. Then there's an interactive structure in the class. So there are about 100 or 120 students in the class. Then the lecturers has decided to divide us cohorts, but it's also designed before the class, you know. And then we have other cohorts. Also inside the cohorts, the teams were also divided. So I was one of the team members firstly, then I have selected as a leader of the team. Then we started the project. And for the lectures, you know, there's a project, as I showed the first slide, there should be a real life problem to be solved. But also the lectures has taken. So the innovation lectures, as the name requires, innovation and leadership. There are 2 lectures. One of them is innovation lecture, which Professor Catherine Mosley from FAU lead us. Then leadership lecture that I have never seen any theories about the leadership. I was talking about just it's a practical thing that a leader just born and do something to change in society or to shape the society's ideas about his or her vision. But I've experienced that there are some theories about leadership, then it's another eye-catching subject for me. Then the application project. So as I showed, there are some cohorts, and my cohorts project was developing mobility concept for FAU campuses, you know, for the others that hasn't got any knowledge about FAU campuses, but there are some few campuses in FAU, and they has distances. For an example, in ITU we have Maçka campus, Maslak campus, and Ayaza. There's distance, but in FAU also the same problem here. The mobility is a problem, and another problem is there's a networking options. By supplying the mobility solution, also we were asked about supplying a networking option. So these two are really connected and creates the main pillars of the problem, networking and mobility solution. Sorry, networking and the mobility between the campuses. Then the follow-ups and the continuous support from the university are established. The lecturers and the assistant of the lecturers. Also, the U-Right is a company, is a startup that founded by one of the FAU graduates. Also, U-Right as selected for a guide for our project. Then lecturer support and also the industry support by having you right inside. Then the cohorts and teams, as I said, the project given us, but we are the cohort, we have the teams, so it's taken from the lectures slides, and it is one of the cohorts example schematic. So the ITM prototyping team for the prototyping the solution, and the stakeholder investment, as the U-Right is one of the stakeholders of the project. The marketing and business model that you will see in further slides. Our marketing team has done something and make it public. Then the evaluation follow-up team. It is one of the important stages of an innovation process, so you need to evaluate something that you finished. You should check and what is the problems of your solution, what is the strength of your solution. So the evaluation phase also important, but I'm in IT and prototyping team. I was the leader of IT and prototyping team. It was an election democratically, then I selected as a leader. So the cohort it is. Then the brainstorming activities during the project creation. So these all the notes you can see here. The thoughts of the students, the thoughts of the cohort. So each student, each cohort member has a voice, and they shared their idea about the mobilization tools. The problem is, for reminding, it's a mobilization problem, so it should be solved. So whether we can do a e-bike sharing, or we can do public transportation, maybe we can make it easy. Then the possible solutions pointed here, and as some of the students are distance students, so we have used virtual assistant, we have used Zoom and other remote learning options, and EELISA also shares me these type of tools and experience me these type of tools like brainstorming tools, the other tools that we are able to communicate inside. So then the presentations, that was the final side actually of our lecture. You can see here the two pictures that our application. So for UniRide, one of our marketing team members has decided this name. So we have tried to use networking options, public transportation, URide, and scooter rental, bike rental. So the application is a prototype actually. We didn't settle in. Didn't found a company that uses, or we didn't found any institution that run this application, but it's just a prototype. So in this prototype, using the advices from industry guides like URide and another guide that university supply us for solving the problem. We have used their recommendations, and we use user-friendly design. Then the other networking option is included. Then effective communication options, as university directly asked to include the networking, include the communication, connectivity with others. Then we have set the prototype actually. Then you can see another interface of the prototype. You can see the report section that every user of this application can report what's doing on right now in, I don't know, any other the street outside, maybe in the main campus of FAO, is there in the traffic, or is then what is raining right now. So it make a solution for networking, also the mobilization. Then memberships, group, user profiles that we have shifted, that maybe the user profiles can be beneficial for networking options. You know, some students may be interested in mathematics, and another student that use the same application interested in that, then they can match, they can reach each other. So it also gets stronger connectivity between students. And this is another interface of our prototype. You can see the options, and U-Ride option, e-scooter option. Also, you can offer a ride by using the third parties from U-Ride. Actually, this application is my team's vision. So no one said that you can do that or you should do that. So we have think about the add-on structure that we can mix all the transportation tools into one application. I don't know if it's done before, probably it is, but we are trying to getting unique for FAU students and Nuremberg society. Then for the making the project public, our marketing team members has done some flyers that publish it around the university. Then one Instagram account has published. You can also check it right now. It is not active right now, but during the project, the cohort leader and another members has used this Instagram account actively, as far as I checked. Then, after all, after the innovation and leadership lecture, I gained huge experience, both in being an ELISA student and being an FAU student. So the first of all, I have worked with valuable lecturers and the assistants of lecturers. It's really important that I'm one of the ITU students, but I have never seen any other universities lectures. And with ELISA, I got this opportunity. So then attended one of the success-oriented universities course. You know, the FAU is one of the leading innovation universities. Was a beneficial thing for me. Then connected with lots of bright ideas. Right now, here we are connected again. There are lots of bright ideas. As today, so this day, in the lecture and innovation lecture, there are lots of bright ideas. There are people coming from India, the people attending from the India as an FAU student, and another ELISA student has their own seat in the lectures. We have connected with lots of ideas. As I showed, there's a brainstorming activities during the lectures, inside the team meetings, inside the cohort meetings. Then I led a talented team. I have no experience about prototyping before, but as I selected the leader, I should do that. So it is a little bit stressful even for me. But leaving at the moment, leaving for the project and leading the team has made me a little bit more, how can I say, confident about leading projects and experiencing challenges, actually. Then ELISA and FAU shared lots of network with me. So today I am here and getting connect with you. So this is also another good aspect, good experience for me as an ELISA student. Final thoughts. For me, ELISA courses are like a gates which are opening the greater knowledge via high quality universities, as there are 9 universities that are really good at their sites. And ELISA shares unique vision by creating new networks and among students and institutions. We are here as a student, and there are also institutions at different parts of society has come together for the purposes that our keynote speakers has underlined. Then research, also one of the output, but the program also enabled me to connect with the industry. The U-Ride has published some job posts that directly for the cohort members, actually. So maybe one of us can join U-Ride as a German startup. So this is good parts of ELISA actually. Then overall, it's an encouraging and innovative way to engage with projects, ideas, people. As everybody knows that in this meeting. Thank you for listening me. If any question, I am totally welcome for any question. Thank you again.
Thank you for your presentation, Eylül Berke Özgen. And the next presentation will be from Hortense Lehostis from PSL. And with the German Lehostis.
Hello. Okay, it works. So, hi, I'm called Hortense Lehostis, which is quite hard to pronounce, especially for Turkish people. Sorry about that. And I'm a master's student at PSL University. So today I'm going to present to you the ELISA's first student community, which I'm a part of. There we go. So I'll give you a bit of a refresher about what an ELISA community is, although we've already heard about it this morning. But basically it's a mission-driven working group where you get to collaborate with a ton of different backgrounds and students, in my case. And you get to define your mission, your challenges, the ways you want to get there, what your objectives are, the activities, the workshops, etc., while getting funding from ELISA in order to do that. And additionally, in time, it'll give you can gain like credits, well, ELISA credentials that kind of recognize that you've been a part of such an organization. So here are a few examples of communities that exist right now. Those aren't student ones, but so there's ELISA on the Move, for example. Their mission is to make cities more sustainable through mobility planning. You also have the bio-based alternative materials and textile, which I think kind of speaks for itself, really. And then a third example is the Circular ELISA, where their mission is to create a program which is going to teach young professionals to think in a circular manner in order for them to incorporate that into their work. So that's just 3 examples where they all have their missions and they're getting fundings. Now a bit about the community I'm a part of. So we picked, our mission is energy transition and international exchange. And so our mission is to connect students from various ELISA universities that are interested or work or study degrees linked to energy technologies, and connect all of them so that we can collaborate and come up with new approaches and new ideas for the energy transition. So we're actually 20 students right now from 6 different nationalities and 3 different universities. And we are all like specialized in different things, so 12 different degrees. So obviously that's a lot of different backgrounds, and so a lot of new ideas and fresh perspectives and a lot of opportunity to collaborate. So how was it created? We were invited to and selected to join a carbon neutral conference in France. And we were asked beforehand to collaborate on a presentation for that conference. And we also worked on it a bit there. We presented it, and we actually just spent 4 days there. We really enjoyed ourselves working together, collaborating, and so then we decided to take this opportunity to keep collaborating together by creating an ELISA community. And so it was created in December 2021, so it's a very recent community and concept because we're the first fully student-based community. So where are we now? So since we're so new, we're really at the point where we're trying to consolidate the community, trying to grow it, have more people, etc. And we're actually having a 4-day meeting in Erlangen, which is where the FAU campus is, because the 3 universities that are participating are PSL, FAU, and ENPC. And so we're there for 4 days with various things to do on our agenda. So we're all, for example, going to present what we're studying at university and the projects we're working on to get inspired from one another. We're going to have a lab visit, some workshops, etc. And then kind of some more organizational thing, like we need to come up with a logo, think of our online presence, future activities, of course, and give a bit more of a direction to what we're doing. And also we're thinking about introducing maybe a fourth university potentially to have more people in our community. And yeah, our next activity, we're hoping to meet in Brussels in September or October, but I think that will really be decided, and what we'll do will be planned next week in Erlangen. Right, so here's why I think students should get involved in such an opportunity. Well, you've got the possibility to work on a project that you're passionate about with funding. As a student, that's quite rare, really. It's a great opportunity to network and meet new people, and you can find like-minded people that can bring you a fresh perspective to even your degree or the way you view things. Like, for example, we had a really big discussion with people from FAU about nuclear power, because obviously France and Germany have very different perspectives on that, so that was very enlightening to see what they think and what we think. And then obviously the benefit of traveling and learning about your European neighbors. So thank you. I'll hand it over to Germain now.
Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Germain Lostis. We are not from the same family, but I'm coming from Paris Sciences et Lettres too. I just would like to add a word on Paris Sciences et Lettres. Because Paris Sciences et Lettres brings together 11 institutions with different backgrounds, so that's why it takes 10 years and it works. So I just want to share with you this experience, and it takes many years, but at the end it works. So in PSL you have 3 engineering schools and other institutions more on humanities, so it is possible to bring together all these institutions to build something which is really with a big identity for students. So that's just the thing that I want to add. Thank you.
Right, thank you for your presentation, Germain, and Hortense, but I'm not going to be able to say it completely correct. So the next presentation will be from İmran Semanur Arpacı from ITU.
Hello everyone, I am İmran Semanur Arpacı from Istanbul Technical University, Physics Engineering student. Let me explain my role in ELISA. I have been participated in integral section of European Student Assembly in Strasbourg, capital city of Europe. What is this European Student Assembly? It is a formation that contains approximately 200 students from 38 alliances such as ELISA. Members of European Student Assembly, of which 8 are from ELISA, focused on the finding solution to the problems that European Union
Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm a little short maybe. Members of European Student Assembly, of which 8 are from ELISA, focused on finding solution to the problems that European Union will face to face in the long term at this event. The purpose was to prepare a proposal to be submitted to European Commission. We were separated 10 panels, and each of panels have taken one subject, such as democracy, cybersecurity, sustainability, and climate refugees. On the first day of event, we were at the European Parliament, A parliamentarian welcomed us, and we toured in the parliament. Second day, we gathered in Strasbourg University Aula Saloon and started writing final documents. Me and my panel mates discussed the topic, climate refugees as a new challenge for Europe. How should the European Union prepared to deal with refugee crisis to come? Why I have taken part in this panel? As I said at the beginning of speech, I am a physics student and I am working on polar research. Polar areas are affected by climate change much more compared to other places. Therefore, we see the consequences of climate change firstly in these areas. As a physicist, my first aim to focus on the scientific side. However, awareness rising as important as doing scientific research because science exists for humanity and its future. I have chosen this topic to be the voice of the people who have been displaced from their homes due to the climate crisis. It has been a wonderful experience for me to synthesize, reflect on, and discuss the experience and discuss science and humanity problem. The future becomes livable when we cooperate. Tomorrow begin today. Thank you. Gracias. Danke. Köszönöm. Grazie and merci.
Thank you for your presentation, Semanur. So, the next presentation will be from Teodora Piatronau from UPB.
Hello everyone, my name is Todora, and there was a modification in the program. I did not expect to present today, so I do not have a presentation for you. I'm really sorry. But I do have something to tell you about. I will not take much of your time, so thank you for attention. I want to talk about the service learning project me and my team are trying to develop in Romania. The name is We Asked 100 Seniors. It's like Americans' Family Feud, but with old people. My team formed a research, found a research where Romania was based second to last at life expectation after 65 years. That being said, we had a brainstorming session to find out how can we increase that. We came with a solution to create a website where we will post life experiences from different kind of people. Each one of us will take interviews to our grandparents' neighbors, to everyone actually on the street who looks older than 65 years. A couple of those questions we asked were, are you happy? Would you change something in your life now? Were you able to achieve everything you wished for when you were younger? And the most emotional question we asked that made all of them cry was, name 3 things you would like to hear about you after you die. I do have a couple of interviews here with me, but they're not translated in English, so, but it would be lovely for you to see their reaction. I'm really sorry we did not prepare for that. I didn't even finish my speech, so. Okay. the answers were a little bit different than the ones we expected. We had two groups, the ones who had a simpler life, the one that lived in villages, and they said they were happy with everything, even though they even have electricity or running water in their homes, or they are poor, they are sick. They said, I'm really happy. I have kids that love me, and I didn't wish for more. I've achieved everything I wished for in my life. And we did not expect that from them. The ones who had, let's say, a vast life experience, they have higher education, they traveled, they wished for more, they gave us the most ideas about how we can help them. They said, community can do more for us. They can make all people community groups. They can ask us, how do we feel? How can we help you? You can gather all the people from the villages together and discuss, okay, I have this problem. It's okay to have this problem, to feel this way, to feel abandoned, to feel lonely. And that's the thing they had in common, and there are a couple of things more. They all feel lonely and abandoned by their families, their children, because they went abroad, abandoned by the society because they just wish for you to die to not pay you. And they are sick and poor. And what my team came with, we want to create that website to increase awareness to young people like me, like you, like everyone I believe in this room, that all age people are not something that you have to throw away. They have a lot of things to say and a lot of interesting things to share with us. And we asked, the last question I believe was, what was your advice to the new generation? And the first thing that was go and get an education, because we weren't allowed to, or they have like 4 classes, 4 grades. Another thing that was, be more empathetic with people around you, be respectful, and let's say, what was it? I believe respect your family and care about the most people around you. They did not care about the money, they cared about the moments they shared with their families. So do not go abroad and say visit your family once or twice a year. Thank you very much. I do not have more. I wish to give you more, but I don't. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Taydora. And the next presentation will be from Mehmet Ege Gözütok from ITU. But is he here? I'm not so sure about that, so... And seems like he's not. All right, and we will go to the next one. And the last one will be from Büşra Gündoğdu from ITU. And seems like she's not here as well. So we will have a coffee break for 15 minutes. We can just go.
Dear Laura, by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. Dear Laura, by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. If we mix disciplines, people, and ideas, we design technology and combine resources to solve challenges with love and creativity. If people go beyond borders to learn and work in cooperation with others, celebrating diversity and inclusiveness. My mom is a scientist and says
all these transformations have started, and I want to be part of it. That is why I will study to become an engineer in 2030. An EELISA engineer.
Herkese selam, ben Sema Nur Arpacı.
Ben de Asya Coşkun.
Okulumuzun EELISA EELISA konsorsiyumu projesiyle Avrupa Parlamentosu'na gitmek üzere havalimanına geldik. Uçağımız 2 saat içerisinde kalkıyor ama biz çoktan bütün valizlerimizi, bütün belgelerimizi halledip bekliyoruz.
2 gün sürecek bu etkinlikte parlamentoda European Student Assembly ile beraber Avrupa Birliği'nin birkaç politikasını tartışacağız. Bize şans dileyin.
time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. If we mix disciplines, people, and ideas, we design technology and combine resources to solve challenges with love and creativity. If people go beyond borders to learn and work in cooperation with others, celebrating diversity and inclusiveness. My mom is a scientist and says,
all these transformations have started, and I want to be part of it. That is why I will study to become an engineer in 2030. An EELISA engineer.
Herkese selam, ben Sema Nur Arpacı.
Ben de Asya Coşkun.
Okulumuzun EELISA EELISA konsorsiyumu projesiyle Avrupa Parlamentosu'na gitmek üzere havalimanına geldik. Uçağımız 2 saat içerisinde kalkıyor ama biz çoktan bütün valizlerimizi, bütün belgelerimizi halledip bekliyoruz.
2 gün sürecek bu etkinlikte parlamentoda European Student Assembly ile beraber Avrupa Birliği'nin birkaç politikasını tartışacağız. Bize şans dileyin.
read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. If we mix disciplines, people, and ideas, we design technology and combine resources to solve challenges with love and creativity. If people go beyond borders to learn and work in cooperation with others, celebrating diversity and inclusiveness. My mom is a scientist and says,
all these transformations have started, and I want to be part of it. That is why I will study to become an engineer in 2030. An EELISA engineer.
Herkese selam, ben Sema Nur Arpacı.
Ben de Asya Coşkun.
Okulumuzun yolda EELISA konsorsiyumu projesiyle Avrupa Parlamentosu'na gitmek üzere havalimanına geldik. Uçağımız 2 saat içerisinde kalkıyor ama biz çoktan bütün valizlerimizi, bütün belgelerimizi halledip bekliyoruz.
2 gün sürecek bu etkinlikte parlamentoda European Student Assembly ile beraber Avrupa Birliği'nin birkaç politikasını tartışacağız. Bize şans dileyin.
Dear Laura, by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunities, access to food, clean water and energy. We are all healthy and thousands of species on our planet are saved from extinction. That is what some grown-ups say. But today, almost 10 years apart, I wonder how we can accomplish that. My mom says there is a good chance to make it happen. If we all learn how to take the green path to a more sustainable way of living. If we embrace the know-how of experts, students, teachers, and society, and we connect it to real people's needs. If we mix disciplines, people, and ideas, we design technology and combine resources to solve challenges with love and creativity. If people go beyond borders to learn and work in cooperation with others, celebrating diversity and inclusiveness. My mom is a scientist and says,
all these transformations have started, and I want to be part of it. That is why I will study to become an engineer in 2030. An EELISA engineer.
Herkese selam, ben Sema Nur Arpacı.
Ben de Asya Coşkun.
Okulumuzun yolda EELISA konsorsiyumu projesiyle Avrupa Parlamentosu'na gitmek üzere havalimanına geldik. Uçağımız 2 saat içerisinde kalkıyor ama biz çoktan bütün valizlerimizi, bütün belgelerimizi halledip bekliyoruz.
2 gün sürecek bu etkinlikte parlamentoda European Student Assembly ile beraber Avrupa Birliği'nin birkaç politikasını tartışacağız. Bize şans dileyin.
by the time you read this, it will be the year 2030. A year in which all people have equal opportunity.
History of Science and Technology classes at the Humanities and Social Sciences Department. And I'm also the International Strategies Coordinator of the Istanbul Technical University. Today, I will be guiding this session with you. Since I worked closely with project teams during the organization of this symposium, it is a great for me to chair this session today. During 1 hour and 30 minutes, we will be listening to various exciting student project experiences. This session is very important since the ELISA European University of the Future will be built by students before all. I will now give the floor to Pietrianu Theodora, student at Applied Didactics in Engineering and Management Department of the Polytechnical University of Bucharest. Theodora will present us their Boosting Relationships Between Academia and Industry BRAIN project.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hello everyone. You may remember me from 15 minutes ago. The only difference is that now I do have a presentation. So we're going to talk about BRAIN project. If someone is helping me with the presentation, don't let me hanging. It's nice up here. It's okay. No problem. Propose. Okay. Gata. Take it through.
Just an additional information, as we started a bit later, could you please keep your presentation shorter? In the afternoon, we'll have a brainstorming session where we will have time to discuss why
between academia and industry. That being said, let's talk about what happens in this project. BRAIN project, it's an initiative of University Polytechnica of Bucharest, Instituto Superior Technical and KTH Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm for developing the innovation skills of students in engineering. The main goal is to promote business principles and the value of innovative thinking and self-efficacy among the participating students through coaching by industry partners. Also, the project focuses on bridging the competencies gap between university education outcomes and the demands of industry. Next, we're going to talk about the beneficiaries of this project. The main target group are students enrolled in a university program from all the 3 universities mentioned earlier. The selected group of students participates in all activity proposed within the project, which are face-to-face and online training sessions, study visits, project-based learning activity, and coaching sessions. The project also had an indirect impact for various beneficiaries as well. The academic staff participating in the project that gain experiences and new skills regarding design thinking, design-based learning, and project-based learning. In addition to this, the faculty members will sharpen their intellectual competence by working with intercultural teams of students. Another indirect impact was over the participating universities that benefited from an increased support and involvement of other local and international stakeholders, organizations providing non-formal education, and industry partners. And last but not the least, society. University Polytechnic of Bucharest is an active member of the Alliance of National Technical Universities. This offers the ideal context to disseminate the results of the project and to promote the concept within the members of this alliance. Other universities will be able to use the training guide and to benefit from the knowledge and skills of the brainers. At the end of the project, the students were able to practice innovation-related tasks as solving real low-structure problems, understanding societal issues, to develop innovation self-efficacy, to practice design-based learning in authentic learning context, detailing the process of framing, researching, and testing solutions to real problems. And finally, the same thing as we're doing this week, they are able to practice teamwork in an intercultural environment. Next, we are going to talk about the participants that were also introduced to design thinking as a methodology to boost innovation and project-based learning, where the focus is on the application. In addition to this, we invited industry partners to assign coaches who offered technical support and provided insight on projects that the participants would embark on. The 4 challenges our students worked on were mobility as a service in our cities, electromobility, intelligent and flexible system of artificial intelligence for critical infrastructures, and mobile autonomous communication system based on aerial platforms. You can also see here pictures from where the students work on their activities. Next, we are going to talk about the actual activities that our students worked on. The program delivered support for students, for student innovation teams in all the phases of design thinking. Understand, framing a proper challenge and information to the innovation team, emphasize deep immersion in customer needs, define, break down and reframe the challenges, ideation, use of proper ideation tools in order to increase productivity of the ideation process and get radical ideas, prototype, fast prototyping and evaluation methods, and test. Prototypes were tested and the solutions are iterated further towards MVPs. Also, the participants in the leadership skills seminar learned to implement practical steps for self-improvement, master in fundamentals of leadership, build confidence, set long-term and visionary goals, understand how leadership styles affect team members and how to adjust those styles to gain commitment, build trust and reduce resistance to change, and sharpen communication and people skills to energize your entire team for higher productivity and greater success. And now we are going to talk about the results of this project. It was 1 training guide on developing innovation skills, 1 face-to-face training session, the development of the Brainers online community of practice to support problem-based learning and coaching intervention. You can also access our site for more information. 1 online training session on team leadership skills, and the first generation of time ambassadors of innovation and what we call Brainers. Here you can see pictures from Portugal and Romania from their activities, and you can also see here a short video presenting the students' activity. I'm not sure if we have time for this. Do I have 3 minutes more to see the video or not? Okay, can someone please select the video. Okay, we're waiting. I start to like it here. Yeah, maybe we will not show. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. If you have any question, do not hesitate to ask me when we have time. Thank you.
Thank you, Theodora, for this interesting presentation. We will now listen to Eda Vergili, student at the Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Department and from the Solar Car team of Istanbul Technical University. She will present us the latest research developments of her project team.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Hello again. My name is Eda Vergili and I'm a third year bachelor student in Istanbul Technical University, Metallurgical and Materials Engineering. And since October 2021, I'm a part of Istanbul Technical University Solar Car team. And today I am going to talk about our team and some latest work of us. Istanbul Technical University Solar Car team was established in 2004. We are the oldest project team in Istanbul Technical University again. In this 18-year process, we have successfully completed the production of 10 solar vehicles, and 1 autonomous vehicle last summer. Istanbul Technical University Solar Car team is the most successful team in Turkey with 24 awards in this field by taking part in many national and international races with the vehicles that we have produced. There are also more than 100 of our graduates have continued their successful working lives abroad and have made their field of work in the team a career journey. At this point, the important case is that our graduates have been able to integrate the work they have done in the team into their careers and be successful. Apart from vehicle production, we continue to be a pioneer among universities in Turkey with our efforts to reach target audiences and increase awareness in solar energy, renewable energy, automotive and autonomous technology sectors. We always aim for the most efficient solution in vehicle production. Therefore, we are developing R&D studies and integrating them into our works. In addition, we publish the R&D studies that we have developed within the scope of scientific research projects and congress presentations. And by this time, we have submitted 35 publications and papers, as you can see. As Istanbul Technical University Solar Car team, we are constantly following innovative solutions and continuing various R&D studies, as I said. Can we move on? Okay. Some of the latest work of us are carbon pipes and carbon rims that we produce to obtain lightweight solutions. The carbon rim that is produced results in weight loss about 4 kilograms and increased mechanical properties. Besides, it was a great alternative to the aluminum rim. However, carbon emissions in the world are increasing exponentially every year, as you can see. And our vision as Istanbul Technical University Solar Car team is being able to use and develop clean energy and a sustainable future, of course. We as production and materials team, as a subgroup of the main team, have done some research to find out which composite reinforcement material we can use as an alternative to carbon fiber and how can we reduce carbon using. As a result of our research, we have decided that flex, which is one of the natural fiber type, is suitable for application for many reasons. Flex meets the sustainability goals and it requires the desired mechanical properties when you add core reinforcements such as foam, Kevlar or aluminum honeycomb. And it has a density very close to carbon fiber. We have recently produced 10 samples and each of them has different lamination plan and all of them has sandwich composite structure. After that, we will carry out some mechanical tests on our sample like tensile strength tests and we will design the lamination plan again and again according to these test results.
And we will, in the future, continue to increase the use of natural fibers and investigate efficient and more environmentally friendly solutions in our next studies. Another work, the latest work that I currently actually carry out, is phase change material design for our battery thermal management system. It is not desired very high or low temperature in battery because it decreases efficiency, as we know. So paraffin and epoxy-based solid-to-solid phase change material will keep the battery temperature between an efficient area by its working principle. And while doing that, it will not keep the risk of, it has not the risk of leaking, unlike encapsulated liquid-to-solid PCM. Paraffin melts around 46 and 48 degrees Celsius, and it is observed with thermal analysis. Battery lost its efficiency around 48 and 50 Celsius degree. And it is observed with thermal analysis. With this PCM design, we aim to solve both heating and cooling problems at once and homogeneously in battery. Currently, 3D printed polymer bases are used as holders. By changing design and keeping same material composition, it will keep battery pack together and will also act as an holder. I tried to convey some of our works. Thank you for listening. And also, if you want to visit our car, they are outside. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Eda Vergili, for this stimulating presentation. We will now move on with İrem Onuş, student at the Astronomical Engineering Department and a member of OTOBI team of Istanbul Technical University. İrem will talk about learning and working process within their project.
Okay. Hi, I'm İrem. I'm a member of OTOBI. I want to talk about who we are at first. We were established in 2016, and we're working on autonomous vehicles on ground and also on water. And we're participating every year Intelligent Ground Vehicle competition, and we have Mechanical Design Award with the last vehicle in 2017. And last year and this year we are participating Agricultural Unmanned Land Vehicle in Technofest. The purpose of these vehicles is, I'm sorry. The purpose of these vehicles to separate harmful plants from the beneficial ones, and to destroy them, of course, autonomously again. And this year we will participate Robobot and Roboic competitions. We will do surface vehicle again autonomously. And we have this vehicle, but we don't have competition for that. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. We don't have a competition for that. Actually, I can show you this. This is our vehicle. We use it for observation. We can throw it from plane or helicopter to the land we want to observation, and it doesn't get damaged. I can show you actually, like this. We don't do just these vehicles. We also provide our manufacturing systems. We make our 3D printer and also our CNC machines. Now I want to talk about the way we become here. I'm sorry. At first we started to design the knowledge that we learned lessons. And now we decided to add new properties to our vehicles. But we need more data about that. In order to fill this lack of knowledge, we received published articles and past studies. If we couldn't find enough information, We do our tests and our own research. In this process, we learn how to learn actually by researching. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Irem, for this interesting presentation and demonstration. We will now listen to Ahmet Faruk Keşli from the Electrical Engineering Department of ITU. He will present his CASPA Hydromobile team.
Hello everyone, I'm Ahmet Faruk, like my teacher said. I'm from CASPA Hydromobile car team, and my major is electrical engineering. So I will present my team today to you. So CASPA Hydromobile, we did not limit our vision to only revealing our vehicle. We also aim to prepare our friends for business life. As CASPA Hydromobile, we are a team that is not only result-oriented, but also gives importance to the process. By the way, we don't have any slide to you, so sorry about that. In my opinion, the best feeling a person can taste in his life is to create a product from scratch because of his work. Although we encountered obstacles on this path from time to time, but we have always knew how to overcome them as a team. At least we set this as our goal. We are a younger and immature team compared to other ITU teams. However, this has never discouraged us. On the contrary, we are take part in the vehicle industry, should invest in this technology and give it the value it deserves. Even this symposium that is taking place here shows that the people here are devoted to this work. From time to time, we got into a deadlock in technical matters, but thanks to ITU teachers and team spirit, we were able to get out of this. We could not achieve the success we aimed as a team in the past years, but this made us more ambitious than intimidated. To promote our vehicle, our power source chose to be just an electric battery, as it was in previous years, and we integrated the hydrogen tank technology, which took our vehicle to the next level. In this way, we became the pioneer of hydromobile technology, which we think will become widespread in the future at ITU. As CASPA Hydromobile, we produced our vehicle in our first years, entered the race and won the title of finalist even if it was impossible. However, this year we aim to achieve what we target and failed to achieve in previous years. There is an ambitious and determined team this year. In a world where electric vehicles will become widespread in the future, everyone who wants to take a part in the vehicle industry should invest in this technology and give it the value it deserves. Even this symposium that is taking place here shows that the people here are devoted to this work. People who care about this job and want to change the world are here. Let's continue to work for a greener and cleaner future. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Ahmet Faruk, for your inspiring presentation and your ideas. We will now listen to Bayashu Mihai Liviu, a student from the Industrial Engineering and Robotics Department from the University Polytechnica of Bucharest, who will talk about the UPB Drive Formula student team.
Hello everyone, my name is Mihai Bayashu. I'm a part of a Formula student team from University Polytechnica of Bucharest. This year we decided to go to the Czech Republic competition after passing the test for from the competition. Formula student is not about a race between cars, but it's about the engineering behind the final product. There's no head-to-head race, but there are two major events, the static event and the dynamic event. In Europe, there are more than 200 teams, but in Romania, there are only 5 teams, and we are the only team from UPB. Here you can see the number of teams all around the world. Our journey started in 2018 when my friends and colleagues from the team get to the during the Erasmus program. They've been in the Netherlands and they saw the project, and after they came back to Romania, they wanted to join a Formula student team and decided to make a team, because we didn't have one until then. And they managed to participate in the 2019 in the Formula Student Netherlands. Our objective for this year is to participate to the Formula Student in Czech Republic, to pass the technical inspection. We want to train the future engineers and combine the theoretical part learned during faculty and apply in a project like Formula Student. So for this year, we are going to make a combustion engine car. But for the future, we want to build an electric vehicle. And in the image, you can see the render of our car. So what we want to achieve with this team is to understand the process behind the design and the manufacture. We learn a lot. We learn how to manage to get to make our fundraise and to promote our project. In the image below, you can see the specs of our car. This is us. This is our workplace. This is our garage. You can see some of the processes of building our car. So, as I said, the team started in 2019, and they participated to Formula Student Netherlands. But in the in 2020 and in 2021, we didn't achieve to go to the competition, but we managed to participate to the static events. What we learned during these years is that this is a really interesting project and a really hard one. We've learned a lot, and we are still learning, and we want to improve in every year. So to promote our project, we participated to some events like Polyfest, which is a event in UPB. And after that, we managed to make an event ourselves. So we did the Open Garage Day, where students and possible sponsors came to our garage, and we presented our project. So this is us at the Open Garage Day. Here are a lot of students and even sponsors. And this is our workplace. Our team is have a lot of is varied. So it has aerospace engineers, computer science engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and obviously automotive engineers. Yeah. So this is us, and thank you for your time. If you have any questions, we can talk later. And this is our sponsors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mihai Liviu, for sharing with us your innovative works. Before moving on to the other presenter, the other student project team representative, I would like to encourage you to visit the exhibition of the student project teams from ITU outside. Have you already visited them? It's a great occasion to share your ideas with them. Next October, we are planning to organize a big event here, hosted by ITU, for the student project teams. So maybe at the brainstorming session in the afternoon, we can have some chance to talk about it. I would like to have your ideas about it, so that we organize it all together, since you are all here, the representatives of the project teams. So now we will listen to Sunda Ün, a student at the Management Engineering Department and a member of the Unitopia team, project team of Istanbul Technical University, who will present us her project team's works about virtual campus. Sorry.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Sunda. I'm here to represent my team, Utopia, and I'll talk to you about our project, Utopia. But first of all, well, our visitors, welcome to our lovely city, Istanbul, and Istanbul Technical University. Okay, let's start. Well, we in Utopia are a 6-person project team at Istanbul Technical University. 4 of us from Management Engineering Department and 2 of us from Physics Engineering Department. We are one of the youngest project teams with only 1.5 years experience, but in this very short amount of time we succeed much. We managed to make it to the final in Technofest and Red Bull Basement competitions. Well, Unitopia is a digital platform developed through the Unity game engine with pixel modeling technique. This platform, where users can create their own avatars and interact with other users online, will include exact copies of university campuses and will offer students a university experience in the virtual world. Our aim is to contribute directly to the campus experiences of today's and future university students in the virtual world. The motivation for users, customers, and us while developing the project is have to fun and benefit and be intertwined with the technologies brought by the age in a most sociable way. In the creation of this project, we are eager to solve the problem of insufficient opportunities available for university students. This means we are trying to make things a lot easier and creating new opportunities like meeting people online, gaining prizes, having fun, and reaching school material a lot faster. Well, as you all know, with the effect of the pandemic, many developments took place in the metaverse world in the second half of the 2021. And the awareness of this area among people has increased very rapidly. According to the Citigroup, which is one of the leading investment banks in the world, the metaverse economy will reach $8 to $13 billion by 2030. And another estimation states that the global gaming industry, which continues its rising momentum by reaching approximately $100 as of 2021, is expected to exceed $295 billion by 2026. Our target audience is current and future university students. This target audience makes Generation Z, which is a generation that have grown up with technology from the moment they were born or will grow up with technology. According to a research, 23% of Turkey's population consists of Generation Z, and 92.4% of Generation Z is using the internet, which is a great number. This factor makes them a perfect group for us. In addition, the special provision of such a virtual platform to certain universities and their students will create the necessary comfort that will make the platform a very reliable place. Well, let's take a look at our app. Oops, there's one missing here. Anyway, at the initial stage, we plan to present our application with a pixel-driven method and in 2 dimensions. We aim to create a reliable ecosystem among university students by registering only with students' email with edu.tr extension to the multi-user and online application. In our application, where we will create virtual twins of university campuses, users will be able to explore their campuses with their, there was a GIF in there, what I couldn't play it anyway, with their customized and unique characters as they wish. Here are some character examples, Unitopia character examples. Chatting with schoolmates, playing mini games such as table soccer or etc., and attending events of the students' clubs will also be available in Unitopia. And by assigning daily tasks to our users, we encourage them to stay online and will ensure that they benefit from the application as much as they can. This is the help button for our curious users, and this is the exclamation button for reporting problems in the application. In addition, we plan to enable our users to integrate their social media accounts with their Unitopia accounts at the further stage. Well, here's a video from our first demo. Can you please play it? Can you play the video, please? Is the sound on? Are very significant place in our campus central hall. Let's go on. We also aim to integrate the blockchain system with our application. We will try to benefit from it in facilities in school, IT stores expenditures, cooperation with private enterprises, ordering while ordering deliveries, and sponsorship agreements. And about our innovative aspect, Unitopia is a project that is very parallel to the definitions of metaverse and digital twin. Then, unlike other social media platforms, it's aiming to a more specific audience. This makes the platform safer and more private for users. Additionally, in further steps, we are aiming to create an algorithm that will bring users with similar taste in music, cinema, or etc. Yeah. This feature will create an improved user experience. Well, this is our risk matrix. And lastly, significance of research-based learning in our project. It all started with an idea. Our desire to make our dream come true has gained us new abilities. While we had very limited information at the beginning of the road, we have developed and are still developing ourselves by researching many subjects, from software to blockchain, from design to management, and learning from scratch. As metaverse and blockchain technologies are arising technologies of our time, it provides us an extra advantage in our research-based learning journey. Well, thank you for your attention. Don't forget to follow us on social media.
Thank you, Sunda, for this inspiring presentation. Now, Konstantin Romika Stoica from the University Polytechnic of Bucharest, student at the Strength of Materials Department, will make a presentation on the ECRIDA project regarding the 3D printing by curing resin in orbit using UV digital light processing apparatus.
It's working. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and I'm a mechanical engineer and assembly integration and testing member in the ECRIDA team. So the outline of my presentation, I will make a short introduction in what we do. Then I will further explain our experiment. And also, I will end with the research and the results of our research. Project ECRIDA, it's a student team in the framework of the Rexus program of the European Space Agency, where students are building experiments to do microgravity research. Basically, in the Rexus, you will be placed in a rocket or in a balloon in a suborbital flight to do research on material science or other technological aspects. So our objectives, we have two main objectives, technical one and the scientific one. The technical one is to prove the viability of resin 3D printing. So, and from what I know today, this is the only printer that is manufactured to be used in space using resin. Our experiment is here for fully assembled, and here is prepared for the vibration test. And here you can see what we are printing in microgravity. Those are tensile samples, ISO 527 type. And our second objectives, the research objective, is to determine the physical and mechanical properties of the specimen. So we will compare the probes printed in microgravity with the ones printed on Earth to see if there are any mechanical or physical property change or if the microgravity affects the 3D printing process. Yeah, so the 3D printing technique we are using, it's called DLP, digital light processing. It's a quite simple project or quite simple process, sorry. You have a resin tank and a build plate, and this resin is photocurable, so in the presence of UV light or UV radiation from the UV LEDs, it starts to solidify or curing. Okay, so why DLP? of course, it has some advantages and disadvantages. It's faster than FDM. There are FDM 3D printers demonstrated in orbit. Maybe you heard about Made in Space, or this year it's a project led by OHB in Germany that they made a FDM 3D printer on the ISS. But also it has disadvantages because handling liquids in space, it's quite tricky in microgravity because it floats everywhere, and the resin it's a bit toxic. But what we use, it's plant-based resin. Yeah. Also, you have a lot of advantages regarding these the shapes you can manufacture, and the design complexity can be quite high. So our working principle of the experiment, as I said earlier, is quite simple. This is the off state of the experiment, of the machine. So the build plate, it's immersed in the liquid resin, and we have a mask and a glass to seal the resin tank and the UV backlight. Then we switch to the on state, where the UV backlight turns on, and you can see here through the mask lets the light to pass only in the transparent part of it, and under the build plate the resin starts to solidify only in those regions. Yeah. Then the build plate rises, and we can cure another layer. Okay, so and we turn that back on, and this is the process, the continuous process. Yeah, so this is how we can extrude objects by using DLP. Okay, so the experiment development, so basically what we've done. This is our experiment integrated in the Rexus 29 rocket. You receive a cylindrical module, not 3-5 meters in diameter. It's not that big. And here on the top, you can see the assembly drawings of our experiment with a few components that we have manufactured then. And here it's that mask I told you. Basically, this is a polycarbonate thick sheet of 10 millimeters that has a resin deposition, also using UV light to let the light pass only on these transparent areas that it is in the shape of the tensile samples I showed you in the very first slide. Yeah, and this is a video. I don't know if oh, okay, it's working. Okay, this is a video of the experiment fully assembled and ready for integration in the rocket. You can notice the cable management, the PCB, and all you see here, it's made by us. Design and a few components are COTS, are commercially off the shelf, like the stepper motor or valves or so on. But the aluminum frame, the PCB, the cutting and all, it's done by us. Okay, the mask I was talking about earlier, that thick sheet with an opaque media to let the light pass only in the shape of the tensile samples. Here is the preparation of the testing. So we do a lot of testing because we don't want to take any risk when our experiment it's in the rocket. And here you can see my colleagues preparing the experiment for the sealing test. So the fact that we have a liquid inside the rocket, it's very, very dangerous, and there are a lot of standards in the space engineering that you have to follow to put something that has liquid in a rocket. So the European Space Agency told us, okay, we want to test with your sealings to be sure that you don't mess up our rockets, and this is what we did. This is a photo from the very first test with the curing process. So here you can see in the middle we have some overexposure. The samples are too big. There's so too much energy. There are some hot spots in the middle because the middle side under the middle of the build plate there's the LEDs. They are very close, and on the outside you see the probes are not fully cured or are partially cured. Okay, as I said, we did a lot of testing. The sealing testing was done underwater to see if we had any leaks of it. Also, these are the very first test with the printing process. Here you can see the cavity where we put the resin, and those shafts are used to guide the build plate up and down while we are printing. And here is the maybe one of the best experience for me, because this will be part of my master thesis, is the vibration qualification of our experiment. So during a rocket launch, the payload, or what you put in the rocket, it's exposed to a very high vibration environment, so everything is literally shaking there. And we had to do some testing in the Department of Materials inside the University Polytechnic of Bucharest, and you can see here the preparation. We wrote the number of every fastener to see if anything got loose during the vibration, because fasteners can untight when they are shaked. Yeah. Okay, and this here you can see the experiment right before the testing. Okay, so yeah, here we are in Germany, in Oberpfaffenhofen. I hope I spell it right. The European Space Agency force you to do a lot of tests, but they don't believe you, so they do their tests again to see if you're right. And here all the experiments are put together. This is the payload part of the rocket. And here you can see our experiment. Here is the telemetry and communication tests, where they are they input signals to experiment to see if they are communicating properly, and they're also checking the telemetry, because there are experiments that are filming. For example, these guys are Daedalus 2, and they are ejecting, and they want to film while they are ejecting at 90 kilometers. Yeah. Our analysis plan and expected results. So, as I said, we have print probes, but the probes need to be post-processed after we print them. We wash them and do post curing to be sure that they are fully cured. And the shape of the sample is this. It's quite small, 35 millimeters total length. Yeah. And what we plan to do with them is to do non-destructive and destructive tests. We'll measure the hardness of the samples, tensile. We'll do also tensile tests to get the elastic properties, and also tensile fatigue tests. And on the non-destructive tests, we will use optical and electron microscopy to determine the structure of the material, and to see if there are any difference in the structure of the polymer printed in microgravity and with the one printed on Earth. So, and this is our sponsors, supporters. Yes, big tech companies from aerospace, our faculties and research institutes from Romania, and also the Rexus Bexus team with Swedish Space Agency, DLR, Moraba, and ZARM. Okay, this is our contact information, our team email, and my personal email if you want to know more about the project, or how you can start your own Rexus Bexus team in your university. Yeah, and this was my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Romika, for this inspiring presentation. I quite liked the reference to Daedalus, the father of Icarus from the Greek mythology. It has a lot of meaning to name that engine Daedalus. So we'll now move to the PARS rocket team from Istanbul Technical University, which will be quite complementary with this presentation, I suppose. Elif Gökbulak from the Mathematical Engineering Department will talk about research-based learning in their project.
Hi everyone, I'm Elif. I'm a junior mathematical engineering student in Istanbul Technical University. Also, I am the corporate communication team leader in PARS rocketry team. In this presentation, I'm going to tell about the research-based learning in PARS rocketry team. PARS rocketry team was established in 2012 within the Faculty of Aeronautics and Astronautics of Istanbul Technical University. Our team consists approximately 20 students, which is studying in different disciplines. And our team consists of 5 sub-teams. These are mechanical, aerodynamic, propulsion, corporate communication, and electronics. What did PARS do from the past to the present? We can give a lot of examples to this question, but here is the sum of them. First, solid propellant rocket engine sleeve, which is designed and manufactured by students. First rocketry level 2 certification in Asia. The first high altitude rocket launch in our country, Turkey. Production of the first civilian rocket launcher and first rocket engine test stand. The first hybrid rocket engine that fired in Turkey. So, research-based learning in PARS. In PARS, research-based learning is one of the methods that we use when we encounter a problem during the studies of our team. First of all, we define the problem. After defining the problem, we determine our approach by brainstorming. In brainstorming, we come up with many different ideas. Generally, after brainstorming, we follow literature review. Literature review gives us a chance to see how others have tried to solve the problem that we are dealing, also show us that which ways have been more effective for the solution. After the literature review, we try to apply results to the solving our problem. We try solutions by testing and collecting the data. And finally, we analyzing the output data. Then we start trying to solve the problem with the outcome data and testing. If we look specifically to our studies, first, we design in engineering applications such as MATLAB and OpenRocket. The data we get from we collect these programs does not exactly match with the real world, but they greatly reduce the range for us to try. We bring our system to the process, to the optimal point with iteration. With the help of this process, we learn how to adapt the information that we learn in school to the real world. Here is a short video from a launch in 2012. So that's all. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much, Elif, for this interesting presentation. We will now listen to Zeynep Nurşahin and Eren Zaman, molecular biology and genetics students from the Istanbul Technical University. They will talk about the works of their CATOFLOW team on microfluidic diagnostic kit for pre-metastasis diagnosis in breast cancer.
too short. Hello everyone. I'm Zeynep Nurşahin. I'm the captain of the team, and I also have my friend here, Eren Zaman, who is the head of biochemistry branch. And we are Cancer True Flow, or Cutoff Flow. We might be the youngest team because we have started this February, and yet we are the first Technofest-oriented team and second project team in our faculty, interestingly. And first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee and you valuable participants to opportunity of meeting you. I'm going to talk about a little bit of our first project's aim, and I will mention the origin of our project in terms of research-based learning. Our silicon-based microfluidic system will be characterized with carbon nanotubes, which was really breakthrough when it first discovered, you know, amplifies electricity really well and really robust as a carbon-based nanomaterial. And our antibodies will be attached by EDC and HS conjugation, if you're familiar, and capture target breast cancer biomarker proteins, HER2, collagenase 3, and cathepsin D. This kit was designed for risky patients who wants to trace their protein concentrations, which will change the resistance and captured quantitatively. Now I would like to talk about the origin story of the project. So I should mention all the amazing people we have met. Thank you. Dr. Abdülalim Kılıç, who is the advisor of us in ITU, Professors Nilgün Karatepe, Ali Koşar, Hatice Camgezak'ta, Gizem Dinler Doğanay, all these wonderful people who supports us, and we consult, and also many more people generous in terms of sharing information, are just wonderful and brilliant. I want to thank them. So back to story. It was last year. I was an intern at Professor Ali Koşar's laboratory, who has a great team and smart brain. And there I have observed fabrication steps of a microchip in a clean room, even modeled the microchip holder platform in SolidWorks. That was the first time I was thinking fabricating an in vitro diagnostic kit. And I have also seen a multidisciplinary workplace. There was no judgment, and I was even allowed to ask ridiculous questions. They were so patient against me. And I was really inspired by that brainstorming and sharing science environment. So that's why our team now consists of 40 approximately people who are from different majors to share that science spirit. And in the meantime, before this project, my friends and I started a different project with a different approach on Alzheimer's disease, but the protein we were considering, cathepsin D, seemed really promising on breast cancer too, which increases with collagenases just before the metastasis of breast cancer. So it was assigned too. You know, breast cancer is serious. The first most common type of cancer in women and second overall. Currently in our team we have people who have personal stories with breast cancer. So when we first started this team with my friend Efsunar Vinarkaya, we thought that we would be happy to work on the awareness of breast cancer too. So I can say that the first research method that developed this project actually, experiences and observations which are matters.
From my perspective of story, I joined Kotoflow in March with Özlem. After joining the team, we searched for help and guidance of researchers from ITU and other schools. After each meeting, we realized how little we knew about our project and how hard to make it is real. As always, reality hits when that time. Then, at first, we thought 4 people is enough to create a project like that. Then, to create a persistent team, we need 2 members who can share the load and bring new horizons to us. Then we designed a poster for the call. Our topic, breast cancer, is a very common and deeply affects people's life. It helped us to reach more people than we expected from all different areas. After receiving applications, we had to pick the members to work with, but we couldn't when we saw their passion about to create a project like that. At that point, we had 40 applications. Then we decided enlarge our team. Enlarge our team 4 to 40. At that point, we make a team instead of a group. Then we created organization and research development sub-teams. After departmentalization, we developed a learning environment that supports research-based learning as well as peer learning. We learn to create something in search of solutions to a problem. For example, in search of a reliable biomarker, we create a 3-people group, 1 experienced student, 1 sophomore, and 1 prep student. They help each other to create a project and investigate. These small groups search for biomarkers of breast cancer, which is HER2, MMP13, and cathepsin D. Groups reported function, size, relation with breast cancer, interaction of antibodies with these biomarkers. And we know that HER2 is FDA-approved biomarker for breast cancer. MMP13 level is doubling in metastatic state, and another protease, cathepsin D, can be an indicator and regulator of breast cancer. Not by using 1 of them, but combining 3 of them in a biosensor project, we can detect metastatic breast cancer in a microfluidic chip. Another example of this approach is teammates in microfluidics learning designing programs such as SolidWorks and Blender, and also learning microfluidic systems and components properties of that. As a future perspective, we have a artificial intelligence team that trying to develop a AI that can decide and analyze the patient status, which can, with the data with our test kit and patient's data, medical data from previous tests or demographic data such as age and height, weight, like that. Our point of test kit, some advantages over other methods you may be familiar with. Mammography, our test kit will be more reliable than mammography, because mammography only detects half of the patients after age of 50, and breast cancer's median age is 62. Also, our method will be less invasive than biopsy and tomography. As I finalize my words, I should say that our project is still progressing, so we ask. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.
I thank the Ketoflow team for this such a beneficial and hopeful project for the humanity. Now we will listen to Student to Space team representatives who will talk about the students involved in the space industry. Stefania Armeshelu. Please welcome.
Thank you and hello everyone. My name is Stefania Armashelu. I'm a master's student at University Polytechnica of Bucharest. And today I will present you some amazing work done by students who their main goal is to aim to space. Okay. Students to Space is the name of the NGO created to support the passion for space industry, especially rocketry. Having the university's help, the main activity takes place within the Research Center for Advanced Materials, Products and Processes, which I will call for now on campus. The team has members from all over the country, from different study programs, such as the Faculty of Aerospace Engineering, Computer Science, Electronics and Telecommunications, but also students keen on management and graphic designs, as it is necessary to have insights from both technical and business part in order to succeed in the rocket development plan. Being a research-based learning initiative, the team members work and study on all the rocket systems as they manufacture their own components, such as electronics and telemetry. This is how a day in the lab looks like. Here we have a short video of some members that gathered and worked in the campus main lab, looking like small little bees, not staying in one place for very long. The best feelings is when the results appear. So, we have at the moment some successful launches of rocket prototypes. Until now, we are proud to have launched in different cities in Romania, all with the permission of higher institutions and other national organizations involved. You can see how team members work on launching the launching pad and also on some rocket launch for a national festival, with all the children being very, very happy to learn more and to see this event happen. One of the biggest achievements we had is being the first Romanian team accepted to participate in the 2021 edition of the European Rocketry Competition. This is the first university rocket launch competition in Europe, sponsored by the Portuguese Space Agency. Here our objective was to reach 9 kilometers altitude using a solid fuel motor. The main sponsors we had by our side were some big companies in Romania, also in tech, but not only, and the university and the faculties from which our students are being part of. Since the beginnings, this team encountered many people who could not believe some students could get this far. After all, it's rocket science. But looking back, we have a nice number of successful launches and gained a lot of national recognition and also international. Since last year, 2Space was the winner of the category Startup of the Year by Innovation Labs. This is a main university-based tech startup accelerator program in Romania. These things only motivate us to keep going and focus on bigger student competitions or even gaining investment. To be more precise, a startup was actually founded and exists at the moment. Voidship has its purpose on being able to deliver a special and innovative launcher for nanosatellites, but also microsatellites in a cost-effective way. It is not easy, but the future is now. And together we are expanding possibilities. I want to thank you. I was Stefania Armashelu, representing 2Space. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Stefania. We have 2 presentations left. We have 5 minutes for each. I'm so sorry. So we will now invite Paul Bergman, a student from the Department of Computer Science of the Friedrich Alexander Universität Erlangen-Nürnberg, will present the Robot Cup team's work on learning through robotics-based soccer.
So can you put it in full screen, please? You know what, forget it. So let's take a look at the RoboCup. You may recognize these little guys here. These are the Naos, which are a kind of walking soccer robot. And in fact, the RoboCup is the World Championship in robotic soccer, and there are all different kinds of leagues. For example, you can see these driving robots on the bottom here. And the RoboCup is not just about soccer. There are other kinds of leagues as well. So, for example, there are dancing robots, and on the top left you can see the rescue league. So the premise is that there has been some kind of catastrophe, for example, an earthquake, and there may be humans trapped, but it's too dangerous to attempt rescuing them, so instead you send in an autonomous robot. So while the merit of the rescue league is probably clear, it may not be for the soccer leagues. So the goal is to defeat humans in soccer by 2050, and that may sound interesting, but what's the use of this? So if you think about it, if you want humans to play soccer alongside robots, the robots have to take care and can't just tackle the humans away, for example, even if humans sometimes like to do that. So if we can develop robots that are able to play soccer alongside humans, we will also be able to develop robots to do other tasks alongside humans as well. So let's take a more in-depth view at one of the leagues at the RoboCups, the small size league. And as the name suggests, the robots are rather small there. Because of this, there are a lot of them playing at the same time. So we are currently playing 11 versus 11. Also, these robots are allowed to drive, so they can be quite fast. They move at around 25 kilometers per hour, which may not sound like a lot, but they are able to move across the whole field in about 3 seconds because of the scale. So with these two factors, having both a lot and relatively fast robots leads to the focus of this league being more on the artificial intelligence side. So problems are in the spotlight like, what is the best pass to play right now? Or should I rather shoot at the goal? And also, it's really tough to handle pathfinding because, of course, you want to avoid crashing into your opponents, but you can't really predict them because they're so fast and there are so many of them. So we built these robots ourselves. Here you can see a rendering of them. The size of these is actually constrained by league rules. They are allowed to have a radius of about 20 centimeters. So we have to pack a lot of hardware into a small space. So we use this kind of layered design with motors and a shooting mechanism at the bottom and the electrical components stacked on the top. And a really handy feature is being able to drive into every direction without turning. So if you consider a car in contrast, it has to drive forward and then turn left to be able to drive sidewards. And that costs a lot of time. So instead we have this omnidirectional drive. So the way it works is that we put these little wheels, we call them sub-wheels, onto the bigger wheels. And if you imagine the robot on the screen driving backwards, the wheel on the front won't block. So, and of course, the goal is to place the ball in the opponent's goal somehow. And to do that, we pack this shooting mechanism. So we have this iron block here in the middle, which is then pulled forward by an electromagnet, and then hitting the ball at the front. And the ball gets quite fast too, so to around 25 kilometers per hour. So what about the software? Of course, we have to know where the robots are on the field somehow, and there are different approaches to this. You could, for example, put a camera into the robot, But the way it works in our league is that we have this set of cameras hanging over the field which detect these patterns on top of the robot. So you see there's a yellow dot, so you know there must be a robot belonging to the yellow team. And there's a green dot, 2 green dots and 2 pink dots, so you know that this robot is robot number 1. And it's similar for the ball, so there's this bright orange blob there, so you know that there is a ball. And these positions are then received by the teams, who then run their software, and what happens here depends on the team, of course. So in our case, we use, it's called a multi-agent based approach, where we group our robots into different pools, for example, attackers and defenders. And an attacker could, for example, look, hey, am I currently in control of the ball? And if it is, it can then decide, hey, do I want to shoot, or do I want to pass to a teammate? So, and this control is usually run on a central computer and then sent out to the radio, to the robots over radio. So we send out these commands, which are then handled by the robots. So how does this all help students in learning? So I think there are multiple aspects to this, because firstly, it's soccer. If you instead propose to build an industrial robot or a robotic arm, that certainly is interesting to many people, but the crowd will be smaller than if you instead connect the topic to soccer, so you reach people you otherwise would not. And again, we built these robots ourselves, so there's work to be done for all different kinds of engineers, like mechanical, electrical, software engineering. And thirdly, so while at the regular RoboCup, participants are mostly university students and PhD students, there's also the RoboCup Junior, where they are around 12 to 18. So this is a great opportunity to get younger students interested into engineering. Now that concludes my talk. Thank you for your attention. I can show videos afterwards if you talk to me.
Now it's time to listen to our last presentation. We have only 5 minutes. We will listen to Adrian Zauer from FAU Nuremberg, who will present us his drone project.
Okay, cool. My name is Adrian Sauer. I'm head of the Avalonic team. It's a student team and we're building long-distance drones, as you can see here. Our team consists of about 30 students, and we have various fields of studies, like nanotechnology, mechatronics, electrotechniques, but also business administration and furthermore. We are doing research-based development, since we are part of the Fraunhofer Institute. It's a research organization in Germany. Exactly, and what you can see here, this is our competition-winning aircraft. It's called Night Fury. It's a 10-kilogram electrical and vertical starting aircraft. And this tiny one is a 2-meter 80 span. That's our Light Fury. I'll come to this one a little later. What we like to do quite a lot is going to fairs with our research and also with our drones. For example, last year in November we have been to the AirTech 2021. It's an aerial expo. And this year we have been to PSIM Europe, which is one of the biggest power electronic fairs in Germany. This year you will find us in several others like Hydrogen or AACI in Nuremberg. It's a great opportunity to exchange with researchers and also to present your own research if you are a student and intend to like have a master thesis or whatever, and then join or graduate and go to industry. In 2022 we won, in 2020 we won the new flying competition with our aircraft. It's called Night Fury. It's an international scientific and design contest in Hamburg. International, we have teams from China, Serbia, Mexico, Finland, and furthermore. The idea is to build an aircraft, vertical takeoff landing aircraft, which is able to carry a 2-kilogram payload with quite low density. That means we have a quite bulky fuselage. It also has to resist intense mechanical stress, which comes in form of a looping or sharp turns. Yeah, and we made it to first place. As you can see here, a few picture from the starting point, and our aircraft in the air in front of our garage. We have another competition coming. It's the same competition so far, but with a little bit different task. We also have a 2-kilogram payload again, but additionally we have to do mapping and geotagging of small targets. You can see it here. That's the target. It's 0.5 square meters big, and there are 4 of them in an area of about 1.5 square kilometers. Yeah, we have to find it, identify, and also transport the payload at the same time. It's quite challenging, but plenty of fun. So, what else we do this year, it's quite new. We are doing forest fire detection. You see, this is our Light Fury. It's a modular aircraft which contains a camera system, which is thermal and also other sensors. And we want to detect fire in their early stage, since fires are becoming even more crucial, like fire detection becomes more crucial since climate change kicks in the next years. And yeah, for example, here you can see a fire detected from about 200 meters in the sky in Germany. Germany is actually not famous for its fires, but it's getting more. So if you go, for example, to Greece, there are significant damages. That's why we start in this area as well. This is a short video of our aircraft. Just some specs. We have, this is the tiny one, which has 5.5 kilogram maximum takeoff weight, span of 2.80 meters, and we have a quite efficient area of operation within 50 to 70 kilometers per hour. Actually, the idea is to fly as slow as possible, not to fly as fast as possible, since the motion blur is quite critical in thermal cameras. Yeah, with this aircraft we can reach, we can operate for 50 kilometers or operate 40 minutes. The battery is quite small, so is the aircraft as well. And it has a quite smart battery management system, so we can charge very, very fast. Yeah, the idea is, yeah, that's, you can see looping and some rolls. Yeah, testing has to be fun as well. Good. Next one. I mentioned it's a research platform as well, so we have a lot of bachelor and master theses going on. For example, here we have an extremely lightweight heat sink for power electronics. We also do a wideband and efficient airfoil, that's I mentioned, with 50 to 70 kilometers per hour. There's an efficiency, the efficiency range of an aircraft is quite wide. Also we have a safe and very modular power management system, a battery management system. But there are plenty other of research as well, like data analytics. There are plenty of sensors on board. We have control engineering, aerodynamics and simulation. Also business development. For example, the drone market is very growing. There are plenty of research going on as well. That's it for today. Please contact us on LinkedIn or Instagram if you're interested, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Adrian, for developing remedies for climate catastrophes, especially, and for your inspiring presentation. We have now come to the end of this session. Once more, I would like to address my warmest thanks to the participants for sharing their precious research with us. It was a great pleasure to listen to you. I see that we created a strong student project team community today, an international community within ELISA. It's happening. So before we close, to make this happen, I invite you to our brainstorming session on links between research and education, where we will be working in groups together. It will be between 2:15 and 3:30 in the afternoon. You are all invited to this interesting discussion platform. We may now take our lunch break. Thank you. Thank you.